The 2022 season is set up to potentially be a huge year for Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts. The Eagles front office has done everything they can to put a receiving corps around Hurts to help him grow and develop into the quarterback that they know he can be. Philadelphia now has a receiving room headlined by A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith. Brown was added to the team via a draft day trade with Tennessee Titans. After failed contract negotiations with the Titans, Brown was put on the trade block and the Eagles came in and gave up a first-round pick for him and gave Brown the contract extension that he desired. He had the potential to be the face of the franchise in Tennessee once Derrick Henry began to fall off. However, he's now ready to be the premier receiver for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Smith was the first-round pick for the Eagles in the 2021 NFL Draft. Smith and Hurts had some history in college. They both shared the field together as members of the Alabama Crimson Tide from 2017 to 2018. However, after that 2018 season, the starting quarterback job was given to now Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tungaviola. After Hurts lost the starting job, he transferred to the Oklahoma Sooners, where he would be a Heisman winner in 2019. With the 2022 season around the corner, there's a lot being expected from Jalen Hurts. And although many people believe that he's underrated, he has a lot to prove. So what can we expect from him this year? Just how good is he actually in the NFL? These are the questions we'll be answering in today's video. Before we dive in, make sure to leave a like on this video if you're a fan of Jalen Hurts, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. His college career. Jalen Hurts began his college career with the Alabama Crimson Tide. For those who do not know, Alabama is the best of the best in college football. In the 15 years that the school has had Nick Saban as its head coach, they have won 6 national championships. On top of the 6 national titles they've won, they've also made 9 total appearances since Saban has been hired in 2007. Hurts did not have a typical college career, especially for a player of his caliber. After a very dominant stretch at Alabama, Hurts suffered an injury that would go on to cost him his starting job. He was unable to regain his position when he returned from injury, so he transferred to Oklahoma. During a single season with the Sooners, he threw for 3,851 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Along with this, he took home the Heisman Trophy. This was good enough to get him selected by the Eagles with the 53rd overall pick of the NFL Draft. His NFL career up to this point. Hurts has had a rough rookie season in the NFL. The Eagles gave him a lot of time to adjust to the NFL and experience games before they gave him the starting role. Hurts would only go on to start in 4 of the 15 games he participated in during his rookie season. Despite this, he was given the keys to the franchise in his second year with the team, and he did what he could with the roster he had. He led the Eagles to a respectable 8-7 record. Last year, Hurts threw for 3,144 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. Along with this, Hurts is a dual-threat quarterback who can burn defenses with his legs as well. On the ground last year, he ran for 784 yards and 10 touchdowns. This was a breakout season for Hurts, especially when compared to his first year with the Eagles. Although he experienced some growing pains through his time in the NFL, it appears that Hurts is almost fully adjusted to the professional level and is ready to establish himself as one of the best quarterbacks that the game has to offer this season. With the addition of A.J. Brown to the team, this may be the best passing season yet for Hurts. Depending on how things pan out with the Dallas Cowboys and the rest of the NFC East, Hurts and the Eagles could be well on their way to making another playoff appearance this season. Last season, Philadelphia had their season cut short in the first round of the playoffs by Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In his playoff debut, Hurts struggled. He threw for 224 yards, 1 touchdown, and threw 2 interceptions. He also had a relatively quiet game on the ground, rushing for 39 yards and being kept out of the end zone. The Eagles would go on to lose the game by a final score of 15-31. This wasn't the worst playoff debut that we've seen from a quarterback by any means, however many expected a little more out of Hurts. In his defense, the Eagles were wildly outmatched by the Buccaneers. The Eagles are just making their first steps out of a rebuild, while the Bucs were coming off a Super Bowl with a roster stacked with seasoned veterans. At this time, Hurts' talent level is near the middle of the road for the NFL. He's still a bit unpolished, however, when taking his potential into account, it could be argued that Hurts is easily nearing the top 10 status in the league. Best case scenario for Jalen Hurts in the NFL? Well, the way his career has panned out up to this point, it appears that Hurts is much closer to reaching his potential rather than being a bust. Coming into the draft, many analysts were skeptical of said potential. Hurts drew draft day comparisons to players like Tom Tebow and Taysom Hill. Despite those comparisons, Hurts has proven himself as a more than competent passer in today's NFL. In terms of a best-case scenario for Hurts' career, a great core is being put together in Philadelphia. Hurts has almost all the receiving help that a quarterback can ask for. Along with this, he has a very talented tight end up on the roster in Dallas Goedert. Although they're not Super Bowl contenders yet, the Eagles front office had an incredible 2022 draft and have proven that they can and are doing everything they can to put a contending roster around Hurts. He just has to step up to the plate and lead the team around him. At every level of football up to this point, he has proven that he is capable of doing this. Although it will be difficult, it is not a stretch to believe that as long as the Eagles front office continues to do their job, Jalen Hurts could one day end up being a Super Bowl winning quarterback. In terms of his skill set, if he reaches his full potential, he could end up being a player similar to Donovan McNabb. Worst case scenario for Jalen Hurts in the NFL. The worst case scenario for Jalen Hurts could occur this season. As previously mentioned, the Eagles have done everything in their power to put a contending roster around Hurts. As a result of this, if Hurts does not show any growth next season or somehow regresses, the Eagles may begin to move him from the team. This is something that we saw this offseason as the Cleveland Browns moved on from Baker Mayfield after he proved to the team that he was not enough to take them to where they wanted to go. If Hurts finds himself in a similar situation to Mayfield, it will not be an easy path back to a starting spot. He will have to work his way up the depth chart and prove himself on a bottom-tier team and hope that he can once again find his way back to a playoff team. While this is unlikely and Hurts has proven up to this point that he can be a suitable franchise quarterback, many thought the same about Mayfield after his playoff win with Cleveland. Despite this, as long as he can stay healthy and continues to show growth in the game that he has up to this point, Jalen Hurts will be a franchise quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Currently, he sits at around 12th spot in terms of best quarterbacks in the league. However, by the time he reaches his prime, he could be a top 5 quarterback in the league. The upcoming season will reveal a lot about the potential of Jalen Hurts and how great he can truly be. And that's where we end today's video. What are your thoughts on Jalen Hurts? How good do you believe he truly is? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Also, make sure to leave a like on this video and hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.